chronically single, sleep-deprived writer looking for someone who's not a murderer.
Trust me.
No. If you don't hear from me, just assume I was murdered. God, I'm a boomer. Or that it went poorly. It's funnier that way. Blue hen. Sounds like my ex-boyfriend.
You didn't plan on coming here alone.
Oh no. It's not my fault that I had such bad luck with men. Oh no.
The way you kept checking your phone like it's a lifeline.
Well, I'm a millennial. My phone is my lifeline. But he had the cutest piercings and the sluttiest little...
You coming?
Just a little bit Oh, with you? Yeah. See how adorable you are together? It's not fair. What about my sex on the beach? Where did I go wrong? What about my sex on the beach? He's not.
Never been on one of these before?
Yes. I don't even know you.
Then let's change that.
Okay. What about Mark? Is he a completely different person around you now? Oh no, he's still an airhead, but now he calls me babe. Yeah, that was probably a shitty thing to do.
You're the boss.
I am the boss. It's making it really hard to think straight. Straight. Okay. This is Affictionate. A demo. I don't actually know anything about it because I didn't look at the description before I hit record. And that's my B, I guess. Heads up, I am working on zero sleep because I spent a beautiful night with a headache. So we will see if this is gonna be usable at all. Start. Before we get started, let's get to know each other a bit. What is your preferred gender? My preferred gender? That is a weird way of asking for my pronouns. Great. The story will now refer to you as they, them. What is your name? My name, that's my chapstick, is Goose. It's a pleasure to meet you, Goose. I know. You're welcome. This is your story. Yes. A sharp buzz of my phone notification cuts through my sleep, dragging me back to the surface. Late afternoon light shines through a gap in my blackout curtains. Napping in the middle of the day. When did I become this messy? I scramble to find my phone amidst the clutter of empty takeout containers, tangled cables, and cans on the bedside table. I don't see any of that on this picture. When I manage to grab it and hold it up to my face, the name Hannah greets me in bright letters on the screen. I hesitate, nearly swiping my thumb toward the red button to hang up. I've been avoiding most of my friends for a while now, but that's not really fair to any of them. Hannah and I have been best friends since we were kids. She doesn't deserve the silent treatment because I'm embarrassed about my life. Okay. With a deep breath, I tap the green button and accept the call. Hey, stranger. Hi. I feel like I haven't heard from you in forever. I know. I've been kind of in a hole. Sorry. Don't worry about it. I figured you were buried in a new job or something. Yeah. Or something. Oof. Any bites at all? Honestly, not really. I've sent out so many applications I've lost count. I can literally see the not viewed status next to half of them. That's the worst. Have you tried calling the places, like just to remind them you exist? I used to. Everyone just told me to be patient. A manager will get to it eventually. Spoiler, they did not. Ugh, that's so frustrating. Right? It's been a real energy drain. Wait, what about rent? Are you doing okay? Yeah, my parents are covering me while I figure it out. That's lucky. Okay, that's a relief. I was honestly about to ask if you needed anything. You know I'd help out, right? Even if it's just groceries? I know. Thank you, Hannah. Always. Anyway, putting the job thing aside for a sec. How's living on your own treating you? I glance around my little apartment and wince, as if Hannah were able to see it over the phone. She'd come over with housewarming gifts when I first moved in. Everything was neat and tidy at that time. What would she think if she could see it now? Piles of laundry everywhere. My bookshelves cluttered with manga, old textbooks, and knickknacks. My desk a collection of worn notebooks, scattered papers sporting my scrawled writings. None of that applies to this picture. And several jars of pencils, pens, and a fancy writing quill that I never use but somehow has become scraggly and sad. I try not to look up through the doorway to my kitchen, where the dishes are piled visibly high in the sink. I force another smile and crack out a joking response. Could be worse. Beats a dorm room. I guess anything would feel spacious after living like that for so long. Didn't you have like 5 roommates at once? Just for 1 semester, but it was the longest of my life. I don't know how you got through that. Only by hiding in a corner of the campus library with my manga as often as I could. Fictional characters were so much easier to spend time with than my roommates. I had a lot of studying to do, so I just focused on that. Not that it's doing me much good right now. It feels like it's been so long since I graduated and my life has gone nowhere. Even if it feels that way, I'm sure that's not true. You're just in a transition phase, that's all. My parents have been saying the same thing to me for over a year. This is exactly why I've been avoiding everyone. It's hard to hear the pity in their voices. Makes me feel like even more of a failure. I can't bring myself to respond to her, and the longer the pause stretches, the more awful I feel. Maybe you just need a night out with friends. A couple of us are heading out for dinner later, if you'd like to join us. That's actually why I called. We've all missed you. A night without having to think about my situation might be nice. This train wreck of an apartment has been my sanctuary away from the outside world. When I sit down at my desk with my laptop or notebooks, I can lose myself in my writing without having to step foot outside my door. That's been the one upside to all this. At least I can write as much as I want now, with no homework, no group projects, and no roommates asking why I'm still up at 3 a.m. Writing has always been my escape hatch. Awards in school, a couple competition placements, just enough validation to make me think I could do it forever. But I ended up choosing the responsible path instead. A real career with a real plan. And look how well that turned out. These days, the only thing I'm building is fictional worlds where I actually have my shit together. But I also haven't seen any of my friends in far too long. The longer I avoid them, the harder it will be to see them again in the future. What am I even afraid of? None of my friends are going to judge me. That might be nice, actually. Honestly, it'd probably do me good to get out and get some fresh air. Where are you guys going? It's this cute little gastropub that opened about a month ago. It's family-owned and it's just dripping with atmosphere. Here, I'll send you the directions. Got it, thanks. See you there at 5. 5? That's so early. Oh, dinner, right. We say our goodbyes and end the call. I'm left sitting on my sofa and staring blarily around me. From across the room, I see my reflection in a wall mirror that came with the place. I look perfectly at home in the mess around me. My hair is falling out of the loose knot I tied it up in this morning. My eyes look heavy and bored. And the pajamas I've been in all day are stained with both coffee and ketchup from my last 2 meals. Jeez. I feel sickened at the thought of any of my friends walking through the door and seeing me like this. I get up from the sofa and head to the bathroom to make myself presentable. Getting ready takes longer than it should because every step feels like I'm gearing up for battle. By the time I'm out the door, I almost feel like a functioning human being again. Almost. Oh, we don't get to customize our character? Okay. I thought the mirror was an indication to that. Getting here took a bit longer than I expected, but the rustic charm wins me over fast. It's the kind of place where you can take your family but still order margaritas, which I was told are a must-have. The atmosphere blended nostalgic familiarity with a modern edge. The perfect example of this was the wall of exposed brick and hanging greenery in the waiting area. The faux vintage display came with a remote to adjust the lighting for the perfect social media photos. Once we were all there, it was the perfect icebreaker to gather in close and snap a picture. We were going to have fun tonight, no matter what troubles we brought with us. Despite that, I still dreaded conversation with any of them. I knew at some point they'd realize that I didn't have anything meaningful to talk about like they did. At least that's what I thought until Hannah started talking about deja vu and multiverses. Hannah can be a bit ditzy sometimes, but her uplifting energy really is captivating. Aw, she's cute. Okay, listen, I'm serious. Deja vu could literally just be different timelines intersecting for like a few seconds. I saw a guy explaining it on TikTok. On TikTok. That's why it's so freaky and no one can explain it. Uh-huh. Oh. Do you realize how impossible it will be for a new universe to spring into existence based on the choice of every person on the planet? That's way too many. Isn't that why they say there'd be infinite timelines? Just like a crazy forever amount? That's why it's such a phenomenal idea, though. It literally blows your mind if you think about it for too long. Not really. If you put on your sandals instead of your sneakers, that means another version of you who did choose the sneakers is out there somewhere. If there were more than one universe, I doubt random people's choices would decide when a whole timeline gets created. It seems more likely that each timeline would be made up of entirely different people. I don't think our choices matter in the grand scheme of things. We're shaped by the choices we make. If you take a different path in life, who's to say you'd still be the same you? Otherwise, it's like every person on Earth is playing God every day without even knowing it, just by making choices they aren't even thinking about. That's what I mean. The weight of every choice is so far beyond anything we can comprehend, just like the number of timelines or universes that might be out there. This is why you're a social media manager and not an educator, selling grand concepts based on emotion instead of facts. You teach high school band, Jordan. Get off your high horse. There are a lot of facts that go into managing social media for a major corporation, I'll tell you that much. It's much more involved than you'd think. So is high school band. Hey, you haven't chimed in on this whole discussion. You have any theories on deja vu? Yeah, do you think there's another version of you out there who believes Hannah's theory? I mean, maybe. Oh, shut up. It's not my theory. I'm just repeating what I heard. But yeah, what do you think? I've never really thought about it. It doesn't seem really far-fetched, but it's a neat concept. It's a fun idea. Maybe there's a version of me out there who found a good job right out of college. There, I did it. I mentioned it before anyone else could. I knew it was going to happen at some point, so while listening to them all talk, I decided to be the one to bring it up in my own time. While they were talking, I was already on my second margarita, which kind of helped me gather some courage. Wait, you have a job, don't you? I thought you were all lined up with some company before you graduated. I thought so too. They told me I had a promising future and that I should come in for an interview once I was done with school. I've heard that line before. Jordan, you're such a pessimist. I just keep things real. That's not the same thing. You're a stick in the mud either way. Are you this drab around all your bright-eyed high school students? Most of them have bad attitudes and misery complexes. I'm the teacher who gets them and listens to what they have to say. I can see how you're doing well in that job. I wish I could find a career as fulfilling as that. When I went in to interview for my dream job, oh god, the alcohol that gave me liquid courage earlier is really not helping me keep from dragging the mood down. It came down to me and one other applicant. A few weeks later, they emailed me to say they went with the other guy. That's so awful. It sounds like they led you on and then backstabbed you as soon as they could. Sounds like my ex-boyfriend. I told you not to date an e-boy. But he had the cutest piercings and the sluttiest little waist. Well, the waist. Can you two get a grip already? Our friend is in crisis here. I'm really sorry that happened, but that's kind of what you need to expect from big companies. Yeah, they're not people, they're machines, basically. They don't have souls. I wasn't interested in that kind of job myself, but I hear that the competition can be ruthless. Yeah, especially with AI. God. Didn't you have a second and third job option lined up just in case? I did, but both of them fell through too. So lower your standards. I've tried. I've applied to tons of jobs lower on the food chain. I don't have a problem working somewhere I'm overqualified for, but I can't even land an interview at a convenience store. It's been like this all year. I think my standards have hit rock bottom. Just like Jordan's. Hey now, you take that back. Peter is the greatest person I've ever dated. He really is the love of my life. I meant the e-boy before Peter. Well, okay then. Yeah, if anyone lowered their dating standards and found true happiness, it's you, isn't that right, Hannah, my lovely queen? Oh, Mark, don't sell yourself so short. You always met most of my standards anyway. Oh, these two are dating? So I'm the odd one out here? Oh no. All you had to do was get a decent haircut to win me over in the end. I feel a sudden drop in my chest, like all the air has been sucked out of my lungs. My eyes start in disbelief to Hannah and Mark as they clasp hands on the tabletop. They look at each other sweetly, and as they do, the situation I find myself in finally dawns on me, crushing any of my remaining optimism. Wait, Jordan has a new boyfriend? And Hannah and Mark, you two are... I wore her down, just like I said I would in school. Okay, that's gross. That's such a terrible thing to say. Thank you. You proved yourself and I wanted you. End of story. The gloominess I'd been fighting all day evaporates, and in its place, an alcohol-fueled frustration floods every corner of my being. Along with the sadness, my dignity leaves me as well. I pick up the margarita I'd left on the table, and in one long swig, I down it all. I almost choke, coughing over the powerful sting of the alcohol in my throat. I see my friend staring at me with astonishment through my watery eyes. Hannah quickly flaps a napkin in front of my face, which I take and press to my eyes. I know I'm going to regret this in the morning, but the thought doesn't cross me at the time. After which, Jordan immediately shoves a slice of the free herb bread into my hand, telling me it will help. I tear into it angrily with my teeth, swallowing a hard chunk that I hadn't chewed well enough, and fall into another short coughing fit.
No, I'm good. I'm just fine.
Are you serious? You're telling me that you two are now dating and Jordan managed to find someone willing to swallow his sour mood all the time? Come on, that's mean. What's the big deal? So what if we did? That never stopped my boyfriends from coming back for seconds, you know? A slight buzzing starts in my ears, and the world fuzzes before my eyes for a second. My friends' reactions only make me feel even more miserable about the state I let myself get. At this moment, I don't care about hiding anything. I don't care about how I look or sound. I'm like a train wreck, and all I can do is just let myself go. I can't find a job. I live off my parents' money all year. I've been rejected from every damn place I've applied, and the cherry on top is being the only single one in our friend group. Not before Mark. I mean Mark. Look at him. Actually, don't look at him. Oh, nice. I thought you'd go after Jordan again. It's nice to be included. Same here. I know I'll feel like a horrible friend tomorrow, but right now, all I can think about is how I'm falling apart in front of everyone and can't keep the pieces together. You know what the worst part is? In every story I've ever written, at least the main character has someone. Even the ones in Apocalypses, but I don't even have anyone to starve with. Honey, listen. I know you're going through a rough patch right now, but haven't you dumped, like, a lot of guys in the last few years? She's right. Maybe if you'd settled like her and Mark, you would be starving with someone right now. Yeah. Wait, excuse me? That's not what I meant, babe. I swear, I was just... It's not my fault that I had such bad luck with men. I don't think that's it, honey. What? You know you dumped a few of them for some pretty dumb, petty reasons. I did not! Didn't you say that one of the guys you dated chewed too loudly? Oh my god! That is a personal thing, okay? It bothers me, and we talked about it several times, and he wouldn't stop. I have sensory issues, dude. I can't handle stuff like that. At least chew with your mouth closed. He wouldn't even do that. This got too real too quickly. It was like sitting next to a chainsaw. And that other guy annoyed you because he used finger guns every time you agreed with something? Yeah, that was probably a shitty thing to do. But he did it all the time. Like, all the time. Like, inappropriately all the time. There was also the one who liked his food super bland. Yeah, so? That would never work. Well, that would not be me settling. That would just me starving somebody to death. Listen, The more they point out the reasons my past relationships didn't work out, the harder the truth becomes to deny. These people are dumb. They don't know me, clearly. Oh, don't forget the one who vaped. Ew! That's not a... Ew! Absolutely not. Gross. Ugh. And that dude who tried to convince you that birds weren't real? Why are you naming things that are perfectly reasonable reasons to break up with somebody? What are you doing? Actually, yeah, dodged a bullet with that one. With all of them. This coming from the girl who believes in multiverses. I didn't say I believed in them, I just thought it was a cool theory. Birds not being real is a pretty cool theory, too. You guys don't get it! I want someone who's a hopeless romantic. Someone whose love can be felt in all their actions, from big gestures and love languages to the small things in day-to-day life. Why is romance dead? God, I'm a boomer. Can't a man just eat delicately, cook something zesty, or God forbid, not smoke, and not vape like some kind of loser? There's a short, awkward pause after I fall into a pout and sip at the last remaining drops of my margarita again. I'm probably being unreasonable right now, but with all this frustration, I just need a way to let off some steam. You are not being unreasonable. At all. This is one of the perks of being in a group of friends for over a decade. I know they won't take this to heart, but they'll still give me the truth, as bitter as it might taste. Listen, Goose, we all know how hard it is being single. I actually am fine being single. Sometimes it's no big deal, and other times it hurts like hell being alone. But maybe if you keep an open mind, you'll be able to find someone who will care for you as much as you do for them. I know he's trying to comfort me, but I'm not in the mood. The cork on my self-pity was popped right off, and there was no putting the toothpaste back in the tube. I frown at Jordan and definitely try to take another sip of my now empty drink. Hannah chimes in. Have you thought about calling up any of your exes that you might... Absolutely not! I don't know, be able to tolerate? Since you're that desperate anyway? Who said I'm desperate? I'm not desperate. How dare you? They are lacking romance, Hannah, remember? Ugh, it's so overrated in the long term, Goose. What? Why? It's nice sometimes, but too much of it makes it less special. That's why Mark and I are doing so well. Because he's not romantic? Wow, thanks, babe. Anytime. See how adorable you are together? It's not fair! Where did I go wrong? God, my character's pathetic. We've been trying to tell you, but you're not really listening at this point. Somewhere in my mind I hear and believe Jordan, but right now it's much easier to drown out the truth in self-pity. I'm starting to feel the sharp edges of my frustration smoothed away into a dull ache in my head and chest. Okay, multiverses. Are we somehow gonna trip into a different timeline? My friends are still trying to comfort me, even pitching guys they know, but after all that, the alcohol is really starting to creep up on me. I stand up from the table too quickly, and the floor seems to tilt beneath me. I clutch the corner of the table for balance as my words come out more slurred than I expected. I'm going home. Right now. Oh, jeez. I knew you'd down those margaritas way too fast. Can you even get home by yourself? I'm an adult, Hannah Banana. I'll be fine. Girl. Wow, sorry. My heart sinks even lower. When I ordered the drinks, I thought I'd be staying at the restaurant long enough for it to wear off. Now here I was, drunk, annoyed, and at the mercy of my friends. I surrender and shake my head pitifully. It's probably not a good idea. Don't worry about it. I'll give you a lift. Mark and I came here together, so we can just stop by your place, and then he can take me home. Sure can. Come on, let's go. I'm sorry things are rough right now, Goose, but it was still nice seeing you after so long. If things get any worse, you can count on us to be there for you. Thanks, Jordan. Good seeing you too. Tell Peter that I said hi. I will. Goodbye. Bye. As I ride in the passenger seat of their car, face pressed against the cool glass of the window, I reflect on where I went wrong. Isn't it better to cut your losses early than suffer through a relationship that won't make you happy in the long run? Yeah. Should I really lower my standards or just accept being single anyway? No, absolutely not. I'm not hideous enough to scare men away, and not hot enough to intimidate them either. Being average looking was never the issue. I've always been the type to set a goal and go after it. Well, until recently. My imagination is my greatest pride, and if anyone took the time to read my writing these days, they'd see that. I shift in my seat as the foggiest wisps of an idea tries to form in my head. I haven't let anyone see my writing in so long. It mostly consists of spicy romance tales or complex fantasy world building. I've been writing just for myself. I can't decide if that's a personal victory or another failure. Dude, I am right there with you. I also write. I have been since I was 11. And I have such an easy time coming up with stories and premises and characters and world building. I have no issue with that. But then I reach a certain point in the story, and I know the story. I know the beginning, the middle, and the end. It's all the little things in between that's just boggles me down, and I'm just no, these characters that I don't really care about, but that are important for the plot, need to have a conversation or whatever. The world building. It just bogs me down, and I'm just okay, I want to get to this that I'm excited for without rushing and making the writing bad. I don't want the quality to suffer. I feel you, fam. I'm right there with you. I make Hannah drop me off in front of the building. She wanted to walk me to my door, but even as drunk as I am, I wasn't going to let her see the state my place was in. Yeah. What an absolute mess. I stumble through the door, clumsily locking it behind me and kicking off my shoes. Now that I'm back in my own space, I just want to get out of these clothes and into something soft and comforting. You just left a... Oh, it's a fake candle. Okay. I leave a trail of shed clothing to the bathroom, where I wash up in the sink. Wow, this place is nice. As I dry my face, I pause and stare into my own eyes in the mirror for a long time. It's uncomfortable. I don't even know why I'm doing it. Searching for something, maybe? The answers to all my problems are somehow hidden away inside myself. Maybe if I just look deep enough, I'll find them. I break from my own tired gaze, drop the damp towel on the counter, and leave the bathroom. No, hang it up to dry. What are you doing? I rummage through a basket of clean laundry in my bedroom. I'd folded everything when I put them in there, but after picking through it for clothes all week, everything was a disheveled mess. I extract a set of cotton pajamas and slip into them. They might be a little wrinkled, but they're still soft and smell fresh. As I stand back up to button the shirt in the front, I catch my reflection in my dresser mirror. Even with a scowl engraved on my face, pajamas like this made anyone look cute. I do look cute. Adorable, even. If I had a boyfriend right now, I'd send him a selfie, or if he was living with me, I'd cuddle up to him, or... I groan loudly and fling myself onto my bed, squeezing a pillow to my chest and curling around it. Even cuddling in real life hadn't been as romantic as it was in books. Curling up with a book or a dating sim on my phone was way more comfortable. Was there anything that was as good in real life as in my digital and paper fantasies? Probably not. All the guys I dated and dumped through my college days start parading in my memory. Sure, they'd all complimented my looks in one way or another, but had any of them been romantic about it? Okay, you're reaching a lot. You're making it very difficult for me to keep up with you. A romantic man would see me in these pajamas and gush about how soft and huggable they made me. I mean, sure. A romantic man wouldn't just look me up and down and say, "You look good, babe." But instead he would yearn for me. I mean, that's not something that you need, all the time. Did I ever get more than that? From any of them? Something as intimate and special as being in a relationship needs to be adored and romanticized to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, it's not special at all. That's why in the end, none of them were the one. I sit up in bed and glance at the rows of manga on the little bookshelf by my bed. There's no manga, okay? This is gonna bother me. The best pen in my life came from between those pages. And when the books weren't enough, there were games with even more guys to choose from. The men in love and freak space. Okay. And You Obey were so amazing in so many ways, giving me all I could ever ask for in regular men. You Obey. Love and freak space, I know what that references. Love and dupe space. You Obey, I don't know what that references. They were bursting with passion and romance in so many ways, and in so many stories they didn't even know it. That only made them all the more charming. My eyes travel along the spines of the books, lovingly reading the familiar titles and being filled with sparks of affection for each and every one. That's when I declare, heated and still a bit drunk, to my empty apartment. I'm done with real men forever. 2D men are all I ever need. It's like a cleansing of my soul to let out the words. I feel instantly better as the resolve takes a hold of me. I spring up from my bed and head straight for the desk across the room. I pluck a fresh notebook from the dwindling pile and snatch my favorite pen from the jar. I whirl around to face the hole in my bedroom, and once again I declare out loud, if I can't find a romantic man in real life, I'll just have to write my own. I'd written plenty of steamy romance in the past, but never one specifically meant for me. A man tailored to my whims. Not the love interest that I always flung at them as a clumsy self-insert, but me, as I am, with none of my traits idealized or imagined away. No, this man that I was about to write into existence, he would be mine alone, and he would give me everything that I needed. But that seems like a very long list, so I should probably narrow it down. The first step in writing anything is inspiration. What kind of man do I think would be the best for me? Damaged bad boy? I can't pick any others? Oh, why? The glossy cover of a men's catalog from my junk mail pile catches my eye. Perfect. They always pick the best models for men's clothing. Even the older guys are total dilfs. I grab the catalog and bring it back to my desk. What, you have a physical catalog? This guy better look like Leon Kennedy from the latest Resi game. Not that I'm into anything, but like, objectively speaking, we all know they knew what they were doing with that. Flipping through the pages, I scan the different models and their poses and outfits. They all look good in their own ways, but none of them inspire me the way I need. The farther into the catalog I go, the more desperate I get to find the right man. Then, toward the back of the entire catalog, just before all the underwear and socks, I see him. A buff guy with slicked back hair, has one artful strand swooping across his strong brow. There are 2 photos of him. In one, he wears a tight black compression shirt, a jacket slung almost out of sight over his muscular shoulder. But the bigger photo, that's the one that gets me. Hands in his pockets, wearing the jacket they're actually trying to sell. I can almost smell the black leather through the page, feel the smooth, rich glide of the sexiest material a man could ever wear. Cotton? What? Leather. I lift my eyes to meet his in the photo. His eyes squint piercingly into mine above the edge of his aviators. The slight, pouty sneer on his full lips gives off the perfect get-lost attitude. I can see it clearly, just from that one image. I know exactly what I want. I bite my lip as a flood of desire washes over my body. Fade to black, please. And let's be honest, it didn't take much these days after being single for so long. You're not helping yourself here at all. Or maybe you are, I don't know. I steady my shaking fingers, flip open the brand new notebook, and ready my pen to write. I stare at the model in the catalog and picture a slightly different version of the real-life man behind him. I was done with actual men after all. I close my eyes and form him in my mind. He looked just as tall and buff as the model, only with darker hair and bluer eyes. The model has freckles, but I want them gone. They're too cute for the guy I'm picturing. No, this guy's skin is lightly tanned from riding his motorcycle. His hands are rough, a working man's hands. I can imagine what those hands feel like over my body, and I squeeze my thighs together, my imagination still running wild with the details. Wow. Doesn't take much for you, does it? His clothes are far rougher and more worn than the pristine outfit given to the model. His jeans are thin at the knees, covered in stubborn oil stains in a few places. His t-shirt was equally stained, but that leather jacket was pristine. I think about how nice and warm it would be to slide my arms into that jacket with him while I hug him on a cold night. Maybe after a ride on his motorcycle leaves me chilly and needing his warmth. I imagine all sorts of things about him. Some I write down, others I don't have time to describe before my vision begins to swim. The world seems to tilt gently onto its side, and I slide with it, not even fully aware of what's happening before everything goes dark. Alright. Coming back to myself isn't great. My temples are throbbing like someone's flicking me between the eyes. My stomach feels like it's twisting itself, and all my limbs are numb while somehow sore at the same time. I lift my head and my cheek peels away from the paper of my notebook, somewhat stuck to my face. I must have fallen asleep face first in my own writing. I can almost taste the ink that's been smeared across the page by my own drool. Gross. Slowly regaining my focus, I squint down at the page I was writing. My writing is nothing more than a mess of blurry lines. I even spot a poor attempt at artwork. I think I've been trying to sketch a pair of alluring eyes, but in the harsh light of morning, looks like an alien crossbred with a K-pop star that's been slightly microwaved. I groan the words aloud to really hammer home the point that I shouldn't write or sketch while drunk. I can vaguely remember what I wrote, but right now there are more immediate priorities. My body feels heavy as I pull myself away from the desk and stagger into the bathroom to wash up. After a long hot shower, I make coffee strong enough to wake the dead and slump into a kitchen chair. Feels like every drop takes an eternity as my temples keep pounding. I reach for the water cooler and the painkillers in the center of the table. I force myself to choke down a biscuit left in a half-empty package, just to give the meds something to work with. The first cup is always black. Cream and sugar come later, once I feel like a person again. As I sit there, alone in my kitchen, my headache slowly subsiding, and the nausea easing just enough for me to relax, I face another discomfort. While my body slowly recovers from the night before, my mind is examining it too. It's just as harsh as the effects of too much alcohol for someone who hasn't drunk in a while. My friend's words play over a few times, and my reaction shifts slightly with each repetition. First time, I'm hurt that they were so blunt with me. The second time, I try to pretend it doesn't matter and that they're wrong. By the third time, I'm annoyed at myself for starting to agree with them. Maybe I should stop being so picky and expecting a Prince Charming to ride in on a white horse and sweep me off my feet. At the time, those little things seemed like make it or break it factors, but now... Maybe I was a bit mean with my ex, who chewed loudly. No. A new resolve claws its way through my hangover. I'll prove everyone wrong, even myself. I can find someone without nitpicking every little turn off. I finish my coffee and steady myself, then pull out my phone. Doing what any sensible adult does when life feels a little too empty. Shopping? I download a dating app. Oh, okay. I spend the rest of the morning and, fine, a good part of the afternoon, sobering up and trying to make my profile look like it belongs to a functioning human being. I pick the best photos I can find of myself, the ones where I look mildly put together, and I try to write something that sounds interesting. After 3 drafts that make me sound like a hostage writing a ransom note about myself, I give up on sincerity and go with chronically single, sleep-deprived writer looking for someone who's not a murderer. Alright. Funny is easier than honest. Always has been. I may enjoy writing as a hobby, but trying to sell my own personality feels like assembling furniture without the manual. No. As soon as I'm satisfied with the photos and details, my job is done. I place my phone face down on the table, stretch, and let out a groan. I don't know if I feel good about it or not. As I look around the kitchen, I start to realize the problem. There are dishes piled in the sink, and on the counter, empty food containers strewn about, and the trash bin is overflowing. From there, my eyes move to the main living room, with its own share of the mess that continues all the way into my bedroom. Even with my body putting up a fight, I force myself, step by step, to start making sense of the chaos. I've let myself go, but cleaning my apartment through the hangover feels like slowly taking control again. If I'm going to try to get my life in order, this is a good start. I make it as far as loading the dishwasher and tossing all my trash before my phone starts chiming. Whether or not I did a good enough job with my profile, the guys don't seem to care. I'm surprised to start getting matches within hours. With nothing better to do than to recover from last night's embarrassment, I spend the rest of the day casually messaging several prospective dates while I continue making sense of the mess in my apartment. At least messaging whenever I wasn't instantly blocking guys who opened a comment with their dick pics or a request for nudes. Although I'm a bit apprehensive at first, the ones who chat back seems to have good intentions and are actually pretty nice to talk to. After a while, I feel a little tug of hope in my chest that this might actually be a good idea. To my surprise, there's one man I click with over our love of a manga series, and he's in my general area. A bit of a drive away, but still closer than I would have expected. He isn't bad looking, I tell myself, so I decide to see where this goes. I even start smiling and giggling along with some of his comments, agreeing with points he makes about manga and ignoring other messages just to keep chatting with him. Maybe this won't be so bad after all. A call came in while I was in the middle of reading a message, a pile of clothes in my arms. It was Hannah again. Hey, Hannah.
Hey there, Goose. Just thought I'd call and check up on you after last night. You doing okay?
I am now, yeah. Got sobered up with a lot of coffee and something to eat. That's a relief. I was worried that we'd upset you too much. I'm sorry if we made you feel miserable. I wanted to jokingly agree, but I knew that wouldn't be fair. I went back to gathering clothes and towels around the apartment that needed to go in the wash while we continued to talk on speaker. Nah, you were all pretty spot on about everything. Don't worry, I'm doing better, I promise. Are you sure? You're not just trying to get me off the phone so you can cry into your pillow, right? Wow. Got all that out of the way last night, actually. It's a new day, or night by now, so I decided it couldn't hurt to try out a dating app. Just see what happens. So that's what I've been doing. Ooh, I think that's a great idea. Thanks for not making fun of me over it. I would never. You haven't cast your net out in a while. I think it's long overdue. Thanks. I already have a couple matches. It's actually been nice to talk to a guy. That's cool. Not everyone connects so fast. I don't know if we connected so much as we've been finding things in common. He even lives pretty close by. Oh, he actually just messaged me and asked if I want to meet up. Wow, this guy works fast. Are you going to take him up on it? I don't know. We just started talking. Have you enjoyed it? Well, yeah, I think so. Then you should try talking to him face to face. Find out if he can carry a conversation in real life and not just through messages. If you still like talking to him, then it's at least worth trying for a bit. I guess that makes sense. Can't find out if I don't just go for it. Please go to a public place. That's his spirit. Just make sure he doesn't take you anywhere shady. I'll do my best. I'll tell him yes right now. I don't want to get too excited for you too quickly, but I really do hope this is a good thing for you. If nothing else, maybe he'll end up being a good friend. Yeah, that's what I need. More friends. Just the idea of having to friendzone another boyfriend is enough to cause some anxiety, but I try to stay optimistic. At least if we don't work out, I know there's no one else in my friend group for him to date, since you're all together now. Sorry, that was an awkward way to find out. I guess you haven't been on socials much. We've all been posting together as a couple for a while, so we just thought you knew. I mentally rolled my eyes. I literally brought this on myself, didn't I? Socials have just made everything else harder, so I haven't paid much attention. Sorry for acting like that. Don't worry about it. Now you know, and hey, you might be on your way to joining us all in couples bliss. I doubt it. I'm actually curious to see Jordan displaying any kind of emotion regardless. I'd like to meet his boyfriend sometime. He's like a different person, I swear. Not in a huge way, but seriously. It's like his aura just completely lights up and glows when he's around Peter. And what about Mark? Is he a completely different person around you now? Oh no, he's still an airhead, but now he calls me babe. Good for you, Hannah. I smile softly, but a creeping loneliness seeps into my chest. I swallow it down. I won't let it get in the way of being happy for my friends. Just so long as you're both treating each other right. Of course we are. It's easier for us to be together since we've known each other since middle school. I thought that would be an obstacle, but no. Turns out when you know someone that long, you really know them. True. You always knew about the fan fictions I wrote all through school instead of paying attention in class. And you know all about the fanfiction I commissioned from you, too. I still have that notebook tucked on a shelf somewhere. I thought it was so naughty, but really it wasn't as graphic as what I write these days. Speaking of, how's your writing going anyway? Ever think about making it your career, or even a side gig or something? You were always so talented. I've thought about it, but no. I just write for myself. If you say so. I think a lot of people would pay for some spicy romance when it's tastefully well written. Perhaps something to fall back on? Usually it's the other way around with a creative passion and a corporate position. Life is just weird right now. I understand. Hey, you just go on that date, meet this guy, and see where it goes. Don't forget to tell me all about it afterwards. If you don't hear from me, just assume I was murdered. Or that it went poorly. Don't even joke about that. How about you text me the address when you know where you're going? Just to be sure. Once I know, you'll know. Thank you, that's smart. I have to go. Mark couldn't get my attention, so he bet himself that he could jump from the sofa in the living room to the kitchen counter. How cute. I gotta go make sure he's okay, because if he broke something, I'm the one who has to explain to the paramedics why my boyfriend thought he could fly. It's all good, babe. I'm fine. Huh. Jesus. Okay, no, seriously, come help me. I can't move. You better take care of that. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for checking up on me. Of course. Bye-bye. I hang up the phone and instantly pull up the messages I'd missed. A few more little bits of info about his job, his schedule, and when would be the best time to meet. To my surprise, he'd asked me if tomorrow night was too soon to go out for a drink. I tapped my finger on the side of the phone for a moment or two, wondering if it was too good to be true or too soon to be good. To his credit, he hasn't pestered me about it since asking the question and had been waiting for me to answer. I message him back with a yes, and he takes a few moments more to send a smiley face and a heart. Not overly eager. I feel an all too familiar twinge of nervous excitement at the text commitment, that glimmer of expectation and hope of what could be. I give myself a little pep talk as I continue to chat with my mystery guy into the night, in between organizing clothes and cleaning out the fridge. He manages to keep my interest enough that I eventually agree to meet him at a bar he suggests tomorrow around dinner time. None of our conversation is too flowery or too clunky. It seemed to flow well. We learned a bit about each other, talked more about music and shows that we enjoyed, had a few little disagreements about minor things. It felt normal, harmless even. I tried to say that was fine, but I was also hoping that he'd start flirting with me when we met in person. When the conversation naturally wound down and we'd said our goodnights, I set my phone aside and headed to my desk. Writing with pen and paper would take too long tonight, so I opened my laptop and dove right into an unfinished romance story that I'd started a few weeks back. I'd run out of steam on it, but now steam was all I had. I poured all of it onto the blank page. Passion, rampant desire, declarations of love worthy of a Hallmark movie. Ugh. All the good stuff that flooded my brain with that sweet, sweet dopamine. Okay. I fall asleep that night in a more pleasant mood than I'd been in for a while, and wake up feeling even better. I passed the day finishing the cleaning I'd started yesterday. Scrubbing, dusting, vacuuming, and excavating the beautiful apartment I've let drown beneath my neglect. For the first time in weeks, I feel like I can rest easier in the newly cleaned space. If I do have the chance to bring a guy back here, at least now I won't be ashamed of it. Having finished all the hard work, I finally check my messages after turning off notifications. I've had other guys messaging me even after I went to sleep. My mystery guy sends me a good morning text and the address for our date spot. It isn't too far away, but it's slightly outside my usual driving radius. Not that I've been going anywhere lately. The rest of the day goes by in a calm span of hours spent writing, reading manga, and catching up on a show I've lost track of. As the afternoon starts shifting into evening, the anticipation begins to creep in. I go through my closet, hunting down an outfit to wear to my date. Looks like we're going to a bar, so it's not as if the dress code matters much. I could easily just throw on a sweater and jeans and be done with it, but it's been so long since I've really dressed up. Longer still since I've gone for a look meant to knock it out of the park. Nothing wrong with going overboard once in a while. Go with a gorgeous black dress and makeup. Go with a fancy blazer. Yeah. I choose a black blazer and matching black button shirt. This had been my old reliable throughout weddings, parties, and even a few job interviews. With that price tag as well, it did better. It's made of linen, which the salesperson told me was very fancy. This plus a nice watch, and you had me looking more presentable than I had been in weeks. When I go into the bathroom to wash my face and start working on my hair, it feels like months since I've used any of these products. Even yesterday I didn't put in half this much effort, and that was just dinner out with friends. Right now I want to look stunning. If this guy has any taste, he'll appreciate how much work I'm putting in for him. Maybe he'll even throw a compliment or two my way. So far, he hasn't brought up my looks at all. I mean, props to him for not being shallow, but tonight I'm getting dressed with every intention of being trouble. The kind of trouble a man doesn't recover from easily. Hairstyling finally complete, I check the time and slip on my shoes. After a while, I give myself one last once-over in the mirror by the door. I haven't looked or felt this sexy in a long time. It feels good to have a reason to look my best. After checking that I have my phone, keys, and everything I need, I'm finally ready to head out to my first date in over a year. Woohoo! Aftertaste. He calls it a bar, but it's more of a club or a pub. The number of motorcycles parked out front is a bit unsettling, as if the location in the back end of the city isn't enough already. There's 3 motorcycles. It's not exactly the cozy first date spot I've been picturing. Normally, I'm more partial to cafes, or even quiet little wine bars. Literally anywhere that doesn't feel like a fight could break out any second, or where someone might be doing hard drugs in the restroom. Through the hazy fog on the windows, I can see how packed the place is. The dim neon lights inside barely illuminate the vague shapes of the bar patrons, but I can still make out a sea of people. Loud laughter and cheers break out occasionally, sometimes in overlapping waves that hit my ears all at once. I tell myself not to judge. All kinds of people like places with character. That doesn't mean anything is going to happen to me. Did we text Hannah our location? All the same, I snap a quick picture of the entrance and send it to Hannah. Okay, there we go. If I go missing, this is my last known location. I tuck my phone back into my clutch quickly and take a cleansing breath. The air has a faint smell of cigarettes. Ew. I feel ridiculous standing in front of this place dressed like I'm going somewhere the waiters grind the pepper at the table. I regret not staying in my cab until I confirmed my mystery guy was there too. Torn between waiting for another cab or heading into the brighter interior of the bar, I check my phone. No new messages yet, just the last one he sent. Meet you at 8? You'll love this place. Promise. I'm trying to. I really am, but that message is from 2 hours ago. Even though he's a complete stranger, I'd still feel safer not being here alone. But I'm not about to turn right around and head home after putting in so much effort. I swallow hard, pull my shoulders back, and remind myself why I'm here. I've got something to prove. To someone, for some reason. I can be flexible. I can try new things. I'm already in the thick of it anyway. The sound only intensifies once I'm inside. A few people dance to the music, others sit at scattered tables, and off to the side, there's a pool table and the bar. After the initial shock hits me, I start to feel the vibe this place gives off. Plates of hot wings and barbecue sliders pass by on their way to the booths, and combined with the music, it makes for a surprisingly lively atmosphere. The bartender glanced up at me with the practiced indifference of someone who's seen every flavor human being walk through that door. I still feel horribly self-conscious, so I turn my eyes to scan for a place to sit. I spot a booth near the wall, safer, less visible, maybe the best choice to ease myself into this space. Before I claim it, I check my phone. It's only 8:05. I'm probably just too early. Ignoring a few stares, I bravely approach the bar and order a soda, not wanting to drink by myself so early in the night. When I slide into the booth, the seat squeaks under me. My blazer and fancy shirt feels completely out of place for where I am. I message my date to assure him that I'm here and waiting. No response. I fidget with my glass and take tiny sips just to look like a contributing member of this establishment. As time passes, I trace patterns in the condensation on the outside of my glass. A few more people leave and enter the bar, none of whom approach me or look anything like the guy in the profile picture. Eventually, I order another soda and keep waiting. Dude, give it like 20 minutes max. If he doesn't text you, leave. Blue hen. 8:25 p.m. Okay, it's time to leave. Maybe he's caught at work? But you'd think he'd let me know. 9 p.m. Oh my god, self-respect? What is that? I check my phone again, even though it hasn't buzzed once. Nothing. No, sorry, running late. Not even a lame excuse like, my horoscope warned me it's a stay inside or die kind of day. I'd take anything, just to know I haven't been forgotten. Aw. I keep telling myself to stay positive, even now. Maybe he lost his phone? But then again, he could still meet me without it. 9:15. The bartender surprises me by waving me over to the bar. He only wants to refill my soda without me asking. The pity refill is never a good sign, and it only makes me feel worse instead of comforted. I still take it and sip on it anyway, my hope slipping away with every passing moment. Dude, the hope is gone. The hope is dead. Faces come and go around me. Groups, couples, regulars trading back slaps and inside jokes. I never thought I'd want to be part of the heartbeat in a place like this, but sitting here alone, surrounded by laughter and noise, it only reminds me how alone and out of place I am. That's it. I need a drink. Finally done with the sodas, I march up to the bar. The bartender prepares my request without a comment. I keep watching the door as he slides me a Sex on the Beach cocktail. The vinyl booth sighs beneath me as I shift and uncross my legs. What am I still doing here? I've been stood up. I can't fool myself any longer. Real men really aren't worth the time. The reality settles over me like a bucket of cold water, a dull ache blooming in my chest. I stare at the untouched ice melting at the bottom of my glass, thinking about all the effort I've wasted. I've come to terms with the fact that I have some personal growing to do. Maybe being single is more my problem than the men I've dumped. But this is the first time I've genuinely tried in so long. And this is how it ends? Yeah, you really have the worst luck. I refuse to publicly wallow in my misery any longer. I'm already prepared to drown myself in romance manga when I get home to ease the sting. Taking out my phone, I start pulling up an app to schedule a ride home, annoyed at myself for not doing this earlier. Before I can, however, a shadow falls over me. I look up thinking it's the bartender coming over to kick me out or give me another pity drink, but the words die in my throat the second I see who's actually standing there. Standing over me is a... Whoa. This guy is huge, both in the tall and broad kind of sense. His shirt is doing him zero favors, or maybe that's the point, judging by the confident look on his face. It's tight enough to leave nothing to the imagination. That is just not true. And because I'm sitting down, it's all right at eye level. Once I realize my eyes went straight for his chest and I haven't even looked at his face yet, I snap out of it. When I finally look up, he's already smirking, so that answers whether he noticed. I try very hard to maintain eye contact and not let my gaze drop to where his shirt is clinging for dear life across his chest. Whew. That's when I notice the slit through his eyebrow and the single earring in his right ear. His ink-black hair is straight, silky, and long enough to be tousled away from his face. And he opens those full, smirking lips to talk to me.
Well, now.
Oh my god.
Aren't you dressed to impress?
That actually made, like, a chill go through my whole body. What the fuck? Okay.
You get lost on your way somewhere.
I'm sorry? Okay, that's kind of corny, but after the night I've had, corny feels like poetry. His voice has a low, rough grain to it. I just stared at him, frozen. I can't remember the last time someone looked at me so boldly. That kind of slightly mischievous heat behind their expression. Can I help you? It comes out sharper than I intend, but tonight, I'm out of warm welcomes. His smoldering grin widens, completely brushing past the acid in my voice. Without an invitation, he casually slides into the booth across from me. The leather creaks as he props his elbows on the table, leaning to the side with his chin resting in his hand. If this is the dude, and he had us wait for over an hour for some kind of bullshit alpha male, negging strat thing, fuck this guy.
You look like you had a rough night.
I'm good.
Let me guess. Either someone made a terrible mistake tonight, or you didn't plan on coming here alone.
I recognize that voice. Oh my god. Oh, that's gonna bother me. Where have I heard that voice before? Is it a YouTuber? Oh my god. Oh, that's gonna bother me. I'm so terrible with names too. Well, that's a editing me problem. I'm so sorry. Editing Goose here. After some sleuthing, and by that I mean 40 seconds of scrolling through my watch history on YouTube, I did manage to find who's voicing this character. I'm not a regular watcher of his content. I barely have time or energy to watch anything on YouTube anymore, but as I have mentioned before, I am a big fan of voices. Some just stick in my mind, and his happened to be one. The same does not go for names and faces, though. It's all a big jumble in my brain house thing. My brain. Oh my god, it's just my brain. What is wrong with me? His handle ends with a VA, which I assume stands for voice actor, so that makes sense. Oh, and I also found out that this demo is his work. It's his visual novel. I didn't know that before. Anyway, past Goose doesn't know any of this, so I could just edit out every outburst where I tried and failed to figure out who the voice belongs to, but since I've now inserted this into the video, I won't do that. It's funnier that way. Yeah, my date ended up ghosting me. I'm instantly embarrassed by the thin wobble in my voice, but he doesn't seem to mind. He nods once with a seriousness that feels surprisingly sincere, and then he leans forward a little more, resting his forearms on the table and tilting his head as if he's studying a piece of art.
His loss.
Yes.
Seriously, though. Who picks this kind of place for a first date and then doesn't show? That's a special kind of stupid.
Is it him? Okay, this is gonna bother me for the whole time. It's a strange kind of comfort, being defended so bluntly by a stranger. Not sure whether to be unsettled or grateful. Are you always so candid? I ask, unable to shake the watery nerves from my tone. He simply shrugs.
Life is too short to keep playing games, and you don't get extra time for playing it safe.
Oh my god, it has to be him! It has to be him! And my iPad is taken right now. I can't use it to look it up. Frick!
If you want something, you might as well reach for it.
He pauses, holding my gaze.
Name's Rat. What's yours?
Goose, nice to meet you.
Never been here before, have you?
Oh, what gave me away? I scoff, morbidly amused, and find enough of my footing to respond sarcastically again. How could you tell?
The way you're dressed was my first clue. Second was the way you kept checking your phone like it's a lifeline.
Well, I'm a millennial. My phone is my lifeline.
Third, you ordered a sex on the beach at a place like this. Dead giveaway.
This is a bar, isn't it? And he made me one? What? I don't get it. I feel my cheeks flush hot with embarrassment. Why? But his tone isn't mocking. If anything, he sounds almost fond? In my defense, I've never been stood up before, so this is new territory. I mean, look at me.
Well, you are handling it better than most. Some people would have run out of here crying by now.
Sorry, I'm taking a moment each time he finished talking just to, like, replay his voice in my head. Okay. And also I have to read what he actually said because I was so focused on what he sounds like that it's just... I completely did not hear what he said. Okay. Who says I wasn't planning to do that in my car? He laughs. It's a genuine, deep, rumbling sound that I can feel in my chest from across the table.
Fair enough. But here's a better plan.
Okay. He signals to the bartender with 2 fingers raised, a practiced gesture that suggests he's a regular here. The bartender nods without question. So is this what you do? Pick up strangers and try to make them feel better?
I'm not trying to make you feel better.
Good, because it's not working. Then what are you doing?
Talking to someone I wanted to talk to. Don't make it more noble than it is.
I wasn't trying to make it no. Okay. He leans in slightly.
How about you let me salvage what's left of your night? I can't undo the asshole who stood you up. But I can at least make sure you don't leave feeling like shit about it.
Dude, I'm so over it already. Something shifts in my chest. This is exactly the kind of thing that happens in the fantasies I write. The mysterious stranger who appears at the perfect moment, the one who makes you feel like the only person in the room. I should be cautious. I should be smart. I was just stood up by one stranger from the internet. Oh god, what am I doing? Falling for some random guy's smooth words? I want this so badly. To feel wanted, to have someone look at me the way he's doing right now. I mean, one-night stands are fine. Just use protection. It's making it really hard to think straight. Straight. You don't even know me.
Not yet. But I know you got all dressed up for someone who didn't deserve the effort.
I got dressed up for me. Because I deserve it, and it makes me feel good about myself.
I know you're still sitting here instead of running away. Which means you've got more guts than you give yourself credit for.
I give myself all the credit. I am so full of myself. I have the biggest ego, dude.
And I also know that if some guy is too stupid to show up for you, then maybe you've been wasting your time on the wrong kind of man.
It's like he's exhaling when he talks. That if some guy is too stupid, he's like breathing out with every other word. It's apparently very difficult to explain. Never mind then. Wasting your time on the wrong kind of men. Okay. The bartender arrives with 2 bottles of beer. The good craft kind, not the cheap stuff, and sets them down between us. I don't actually drink beer because it tastes like piss and sweat. I've had a whole rant about it before. I'm not gonna get into it. It just makes me upset. Rhett slides one towards me. I pick up the bottle, just to have something to do with my hands, and take a small sip. What about my sex on the beach? What about my sex on the beach? It's bitter and hoppy. Nothing like the sweet cocktail I ordered before, but somehow it actually tastes really good. That's somewhat accurate.
I have a good eye for these sorts of things. Part of the job.
What's your job? Are you a bouncer? What's your job? What job?
I'm a mechanic.
Ah.
Run a custom bike shop across town.
Do you?
You work on enough bikes. You start noticing patterns. Where things wear down first tells you how people actually ride.
Okay.
And what problems they tend to neglect.
Okay. I get that there's a dual meaning here, but I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. Okay, be honest with me. Do you rehearse this stuff, or does it just come out of you like that? He laughs again, that same warm rumble, and shakes his head.
Nah, I just call it how I see it.
Uh-huh. Okay, so what do you see when you look at me? The question comes out more vulnerable than I intend. I blame the beer, or maybe the fact that this man has made me feel more in 5 minutes than my actual date managed in days of messaging. Rhett doesn't answer right away. Instead, he leans forward again, elbows on the table, and really looks at me. His gaze is intense, slow, deliberate, and entirely unlike my interactions with anyone else, but never leering.
Honestly, I'm not sure yet.
Okay. The answer catches me off guard. I expected another smooth line.
You ordered a soda first. Switched to a cocktail about an hour in.
So you've been watching me for a while. That's really creepy.
That tells me you showed up planning to be responsible. You wanted a clear head for whoever you were meeting.
Okay.
But he never came. So you gave up on being careful.
Well, careful. I was gonna Uber home, so...
That's the vibe of someone who actually cared to make it work, but is tired of getting disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
The rest, I'd have to stick around to figure out.
It's gonna bother me so much that I can't place I can't remember the name of the person. It's fine. I will figure it out in editing. How long have I been recording? 1 hour and 19 minutes. Okay. Let's go. Let's do this, Rhett. I don't have a comeback for that one. Just man admitting he doesn't have me figured out yet, but wants to. It makes me want to let him try. My breath catches as I realize I still haven't given him a reply. You're not what I expected tonight.
Good. Expected is boring.
Not always. For a moment, neither of us speaks, but it's a comfortable silence, as if we are both just taking in the moment and appreciating the company. Then Rhett's lips curve into that devastating smirk again.
Well, here's what I think. I think you spent way too long waiting for something to happen.
I agree 100%, my man.
So, how about you stop waiting and do something different for a change?
You got any suggestions? Something different.
Can't get anywhere new if you keep on taking the same roads. So, you staying here nursing that cocktail? Or are you coming with me?
I don't know you, Mr. Rhett. Coming with you where?
Does it really matter?
Yeah, for safety reasons, it matters a lot, actually. The question hangs between us. It should bother me that the answer is no. I stare at his outstretched hand. This is crazy. This is the kind of thing Hannah would tell me not to do. This is how people end up on true crime podcasts. Ugh. But something about him makes me want to take the plunge. That terrifies me almost as much as it excites me. Before I can overthink it, I place my hand in his.
Now we're talking.
Do you mind if I take your picture? Send it to my friend? His hand is warm and steady. He pulls me gently to my feet, and I'm suddenly very aware of how close we are. He's a bit taller than me, and the leather of his jacket creaks softly as he moves. He doesn't let go of my hand right away. Instead, he looks at me with calm eyes that still burn underneath, like a promise.
You coming?
That's a little bit Oh, with you? Yeah. It's not really a question. It's a dare. And the worst part is, it's working. I should say no. I should absolutely say no. I don't even know you.
Then let's change that.
Okay. He leads me through the crowded bar, weaving between tables and patrons with the ease of someone who belongs here. A few people call out to him and he nods or raises his free hand in acknowledgement, but he doesn't stop. When we step outside, the cool night air hits my flushed cheeks like a blessing. I take a deep breath. Somehow, the same air that felt heavy inside now feels so free. My thoughts are still a jumbled mess of "this is insane" and "don't let go of his hand."
Better?
What? What's better? It was getting pretty stuffy in there.
Yeah, it gets like that. Especially on the weekends.
He finally releases my hand, and I immediately miss the warmth of the contact. He walks over to one of the motorcycles parked near the entrance. The red one? A sleek red beast that looks expensive and dangerous. Yeah, that I figured. Oh no. Oh no! He's not.
Ever been on one of these before?
Look! Yes. A motorcycle? No, absolutely not. I don't even have a helmet, and...
I've got you covered.
Oh. He pulls a spare helmet from the storage case.
Safety first. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a rush. The closest thing to flying without leaving the ground.
Sure, you could look at it that way.
But if you don't want to, that's also perfectly okay.
Yes, it is.
I can just call you a cab and give you a ride home. No pressure.
I could call my own cab. I look at the motorcycle, then back to Rhett. This is the most impulsive, reckless, stupid thing I could possibly do right now. I think about my apartment, clean for the first time in months, but still empty. I think about my friends, all paired off and happy. I think about the dating app guy who couldn't even be bothered to text me that he wasn't coming. I think about all the stories I've written where the protagonist takes the risk, says yes to adventure, and throws caution to the wind. I think about what Rhett just said.
Can't get anywhere new if you keep on taking the same roads.
Alright, let's do this.
You're the boss.
I am the boss! He hands me the helmet and helps me adjust the strap under my chin, with surprising gentleness for someone with such rough hands. His fingers brush my jaw, and I swear to God I can feel my cheeks burning beneath the visor. He kind of looks a lot like the dude, like the build and the long hair. The only difference is he doesn't have a beard. Hopefully, editing me by now has put in who the guy is that I'm thinking of. And maybe even looked up who's voicing this guy. And like confirmed if I'm whether or not I'm insane.
You're gonna wanna hold on tight. Wrap your arms around my waist and lean when I do.
Yeah.
Don't fight it.
Yeah. No, I know. I've ridden a motorcycle before. I hated it. No, I didn't. It was actually really fun, but I hated it.
This kind of bike is a different beast from regular models.
Don't fight it. Got it.
And hey,
Yes? Yeah?
trust me.
No. I wrap my arms around his waist like he told me to. And I can feel his muscles through the thin material of his shirt. Firm and soft at the same time. The warmth.
Are you ready?
Yeah. No, yes, huh? I don't know. Yep.
Perfect. Let's go for a joyride.
The engine roars to life beneath us, a thrumming vibration that echoes through my entire body. He slowly accelerates as we make our way out of the parking lot, and then we burst forward as we hit the main road. The world blurs around us. Wind rushes past, cool and sharp against my exposed skin. The city lights turn into streaks of neon color. How are we looking at him from this angle? I tighten my arms around Rhett and press my cheek against his back, feeling the steady rise and fall of his breathing. He wasn't lying. This is freedom, and it feels amazing. For the first time in months, or maybe even years, I'm not thinking about job applications, failed relationships, or expectations. I'm just here. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. We fly through the city streets, the motorcycle roaring beneath us like a living thing. Rhett navigates the roads with practiced ease, leaning into turns with a confidence that makes my stomach flip. Every time he accelerates, I instinctively tighten my grip around his waist, and I swear I can feel him smile, even though I can't see his face. We pass through streets I've never seen, even though I've lived here for years, beneath yellow streetlights that cast everything in a warm amber glow. This is what I've been missing, this exact feeling. Eventually, the ride mellows. We're cruising now instead of racing, and I can actually take in the moment. Rhett leans back slightly, and I hear his voice muffled through the helmet. Oh, where to? The question pulls me out of my trance. Right, I have to go home eventually. Back to reality. I shout my address over the wind and feel his nod of acknowledgement. Soon enough, we're turning onto familiar streets, the buildings I pass every day. Red pulls up in front of my apartment building and cuts the engine. The sudden silence is almost jarring after the constant rumble of the motorcycle. My ears are still ringing. My hands are still shaking. I'm not even sure I can feel my legs. I climb off the bike, my knees unsteady. I can't tell whether it's from the ride or the adrenaline crash. Rhett swings off after me and takes my helmet, his fingers brushing mine as I hand it over. Oh, this is not voiced? So, was it worth it? I realize I'm grinning like an idiot. That was incredible. I've never felt anything like that. Those words do wonder for a man's ego. He's looking at me with that same intensity from the bar, like I'm the only thing worth paying attention to in the entire world. My skin feels warm despite the cool night air. Thank you for tonight, and you don't have to say anything. Sometimes the best nights are the ones that don't need words. There's a beat of silence. I should probably go inside. The night is over. But I don't want it to end. I had a good time tonight. Me too. The best time I've had in... honestly, I can't even remember. The words come out more vulnerable than I intend, but I don't take them back. It's true. Tonight feels like magic. Then we should do it again. I freeze for a split second. Really? Why do you sound so surprised? You think I'd do this for just anyone? I don't know. Do you? I'm half joking, but there's a real question underneath. How many others has he swept off their feet just like this? But Rhett just shakes his head, that practiced smile playing at his lips. Nah, you're different. Of course I am. You barely know me. I know enough to want to know more. It's not a grand declaration. It's not a promise. But somehow that makes it feel more honest than anything else he said tonight. Most people walk into that bar and try to blend in. Order whatever everyone else is having. Sit where they're told. You sat in the corner booth in that outfit and ordered a cocktail with a straight face. Either you're fearless, or you've got no idea what you're doing. Sure. Can it be both? Usually is. Plus, you didn't say no when I offered you a ride on my bike. Most people would've. Most people are probably smarter than me. Most people don't know how to live. He's close enough now that I have to tilt my head back to look at him. Close enough that our noses could almost touch. His fingers softly brush the side of my cheek, but he doesn't push any further. He waits for me to close the gap. His lips meet mine, slow at first. Then his hand slides to the back of my neck, fingers threading into my hair, and the kiss becomes passionate. Like he's finally stopped holding back. I want to see you again. I like that. Next weekend? Saturday? Is that too soon? Maybe not soon enough, but the word is already leaving my mouth. Sounds like a plan. Good. I'll pick you up. 7? Wait. The realization hits me suddenly. How will he pick me up? He doesn't have my number. We haven't exchanged any contact info at all. Can I get your number? So we can, plan? Sure. Here you go. He pulls out his phone and hands it to me. I type my number and hand it back. He glances at it, then immediately calls me. My phone buzzes in my clutch. There. Now you have mine. Perfect. I'll text you tomorrow about where we're going. Something special. More special than a motorcycle ride? You'll see. He reaches out and tucks a strand of hair behind my ear. Same gentleness from before lingering for just a moment against my cheek. Get some sleep. You've had a long night. Talk to you soon. He pulls back, and I immediately miss the contact. He swings his leg back over the motorcycle and pulls on his helmet. Good night, Goose. Good night, Rhett. He starts the engine, and the roar cuts through the quiet night. With one last look, those intense eyes visible even through the helmet's visor, he pulls away from the curb. I stand there and watch him go, the sound of his motorcycle fading into the distance until it's swallowed by the ambient noise of the city. I kick off my shoes and immediately pull out my phone. His number is there, saved, but unnamed. I stare at it for a moment before typing, Rhett, with a motorcycle emoji. Feels silly adding the motorcycle emoji, but also perfect. As I'm standing there stalking his empty chat, my phone buzzes with a text. After a mini heart attack, I realize it's just Hannah. You alive? Been hours since you texted. Getting worried. Guilt crashes over me. I completely forgot to update her after that initial text from the bar. She probably thinks I was murdered and dumped in a river somewhere. I'm so sorry. I'm home and safe. Long story. We'll call you tomorrow and tell you everything. She responds almost immediately, confirming my suspicions. You better. Sweet dreams. I set my phone down and head to my bedroom, already peeling off my clothes. When I catch sight of myself in the mirror, I pause. My hair is a windblown mess, my cheeks flushed. I look like someone who just had the night of their life. I look nothing like the sad, hungover person who sat in this apartment yesterday morning, drowning in self-pity and job applications. What just happened? My reflection doesn't answer. Rude. But they are smiling. I change into the same cute pajamas and crawl into my bed. My body is exhausted, but my mind is racing. Next weekend can't come soon enough. I reach for my phone one more time, pulling up his contact. No profile picture, just the number and that little motorcycle emoji. Should I text him? Thank him again for tonight? Let him know I got inside safely? Or is that going to sound desperate? But before I can, my phone buzzes. A text from Rhett. Sleep tight. Next time's gonna be even better. I'm grinning again. I type back. Can't wait. Then I set my phone on my nightstand, pull my blanket up to my chin, and close my eyes. For the first time in months, I think I'm going to get a great night's rest. Maybe real men aren't so bad after all. Maybe I just needed to find the right one. Right? Okay, I'm gonna save. God, I can't see the mouse on my own screen. Ugh. Yes, I want to return. Alright, I'm gonna leave it there. I don't know why the voice acting suddenly stopped. That was a little bit jarring. I'm gonna have to look that up. I guess insert here if I found something out. Okay, I'm recording this several days after the fact. I've finished editing the video and have been able to fully take in what it was that I was playing, what happened, and the characters. I was a bit out of it while recording, and I didn't take a nap after I was done. I'm just not a sleep during the day person. Anyway, this is where I'm going to give constructive feedback, criticism, whatever. Like I've already said, the sudden lack of voice acting for the one character, Ryan? I just finished editing. Rhett? It was a little bit jarring, like I've already said. The writing is good. It's more of a visual novel than it is a game, which makes sense because looking at the creator's posts on his channel, it literally says visual novel. So that makes sense that there aren't any options for like actions or things like that. I would have liked to have that, but I understand why that's not available. That takes so much more work. The characters so far are interesting, what little we've seen of them. So far it's really interesting, the story. The art is lovely. The colors are really nice to look at, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. I had to really hold myself back from completely losing myself and going in on adding flair to the video because that's what I do. That's what I love. I love audio. So I was halfway inside my closet to like record the sound of boots moving across like stone floor and wooden floor and stuff like that, as well as like the sound of a leather jacket moving. I had to stop myself from doing that because I was like, okay, this is too much work and it's not necessary. I would love to do it. I'm not going to. I'm not going to change the game because I feel like that wouldn't be cool of me to do. I did edit out some mouth sounds for the character because I can, and because I had to keep listening to it over and over as I was editing, and I have a very difficult time with that. It can get very sharp. Clearly, a very good mic was used during the recording. Unfortunately, mouth sounds is something that is pretty much impossible to avoid. I almost always edit out as much as I can without it getting ridiculous. Like, I can't spend 2 weeks searching through an audio file for every little mouth sound unless it's very sharp and not covered up by like music or background sound. I'm not gonna bother. But like sharp clicks and stuff like that, I have to edit that out for my own peace of mind. I hope that was okay. If the creator is to ever see this, I'm so sorry if that offended you. Also, if you're looking for voice actors, I am available. I've been told I have range. Yeah, I feel like that's all I can say about it, really. Now I have to edit this audio file too. Great. All right, until next time, if and when you do, sleep tight.